Constitution so as to assure that ExxonMobil never again has a hand in destroying a large American city. Ladies and gentlemen, we will rebuild not just New Orleans, we will rebuild the American dream. Please come join us at the Lafitte Housing Complex for a ribbon-cutting ceremony immediately after the plenary session. This is what we're all here for, so let's make it happen. Let's bring New Orleans back.
I thought it was very uplifting. This has been a big problem. A lot of people want to come home, and they have been unable to do so. So I thought it was a very positive message.
Well, very encouraging, and what's really encouraging in particular is not only getting people back home and helping them rebuild, but the recognition that we have to deal with Mother Nature, and that Exxon is going to make some significant contribution to restore wetlands. It's very encouraging.
This was encouraging. When the contractors heard that the government was going to do the right thing, even though it might cost them some business, they cheered. Friedman was wrong. Greed alone didn't rule the world.
Hi, what's CBS Radio, WWL? Mind if I talk to you over here?
Absolutely.
Do you have a card?
Okay, thank you.
And this time, we'd gotten away with it.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Or so we thought.
The city and the state both say they've not heard anything about this. This announcement comes as a surprise to the governor's office and the mayor's office.
Yes, it does.
Why would HUD do this without consulting the city and the state?
Well, we haven't done this without consulting with them.
You have no cards. You say you're new to the agency?
I have a card, but it's back at the office. I'll get it to you.
Where is your PR team?
I'm right here. Hi.
There.
Hi, you're with HUD?
Yes, I am.
Do you have a card?
There's an entire HUD housing project there left unfinished.
Yeah.
There are some saying that this is a farce, that you're not truly with HUD, and that this is not an actual announcement.
Well, they can say whatever they want. Who are these people?
Where is your office?
In Washington.
Where in Washington?
He just joined the agency from France. He's
From France.
Yeah, he's been a special attaché to the Department of the Interior in France. Why are you so skeptical?
I just heard the speech, and I have a newscast very shortly. I need to confirm if it was a real speech from HUD or not. The governor and the mayor knew nothing of it. They were shocked. We desperately need to know if this is real or not. He's standing right here, the man who's just apparently committed this hoax on your department. Okay, I'm on the phone with HUD right now, and they say you're a liar.
Okay, well, they can say whatever they want.
I'm sorry?
They can say whatever they'd like.
They can say whatever they'd like, but you work for them, don't you, as a deputy secretary?
That's right.
Now that you've been discovered, do you want to explain to me why you did it? I mean, if you're trying to make a point, why don't you come over here and tell me why you did this? All right? All right, man. I'll call you in a few minutes. But it is a hoax, a massive hoax perpetrated today. You just pulled off a heck of a hoax.
Thank you. I mean, I would say that, HUD is pulling off a hoax by pretending that tearing down affordable housing is what's going to solve it. I mean, that's what they've been doing until now. This is a time when all of these people are clamoring to get back in. They want to get back into their housing, and they deserve to be there. It's crazy.
And worth lying to
absolutely.
all these people.
Absolutely.
To make your
actually telling the truth. This is actually truth-telling where normally there would only be lies.
Thank you, whatever.
How difficult would it be to remediate what you see here today and make it inhabitable, say, next week?
Just take off the covers here.
Oh, yeah, that's a good start, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Finally, we will be reopening public housing for the residents, for the workforce that's going to move back in and again rebuild New Orleans.
Sick, twisted, cruel. Those are all words used to describe the prank on Louisiana officials and about 1,000 contractors in New Orleans today.
I'm Deputy Assistant Secretary of the assistant, essentially, of Secretary Alphonso Jackson.
Renee Oswin can't get his title right or his relationship to HUD Secretary Alphonso Jackson. After taking the mayor for a ride, these contractors followed him to a makeshift ribbon cutting at the Lafitte Housing Project.
Mr. Oswin, you're not even on the directory of HUD. You're not even listed. You don't even have a phone number.
It's come to that, has it? It's come to that. Well, thanks for being the one to break the news.
Pano, the housing authority of New Orleans, says this is simply a cruel, cruel joke, trying to give people some kind of fake hope that they were going to be able to move back.
It is terribly sad that someone would perpetuate such a cruel hoax and play on the fears and anxieties of families who are desperate to return to their homes.
We just had it confirmed from HUD that he's not actually an employee of HUD. This is all a big hoax, this whole ceremony here, this whole press conference.
But I guess it's just to call their hand. It's just to call their hand. I respect this host because maybe it'll take a host like this to bring them out here to see what we going through. So it's a host would it be, a host is what we got. And I ain't mad, I'm going to eat me some barbecue.
And I think what you guys exposed is the fact that HUD could do these great things if they wanted to. Secondly, you got the attention of the residents, so now they're going to begin to ask, well, why aren't you doing these things? And number three, you're creating a controversy to feed off, to organize, and to build a struggle to the next level. So in my opinion, everything y'all did was excellent.
It had all been worthwhile. We were on top of the world. But then, reality began to sink in. We'd made a splash, but we hadn't fixed the world. The free market was still destroying New Orleans. All over the world, people were losing their homes. Climate change kept getting worse. And in Bhopal, people continued to suffer. We really did need to fix the world. But it was going to take more than two guys with cheap suits and fake websites. It would take millions of us. But even as old regimes were swept away, we knew that real change wouldn't come easy. After all, the free market cult was still here.
Wealth, money, privatization.
Wealth, money, free markets, privatization.
Ownership, a great deal of money. Now, we can afford that.
Remember these guys? They're not going away. And neither would we. We needed a really ambitious plan, because all we ever read in the newspapers was how we needed to put everything back on track, back to how it was before it fell apart. But how it was the problem. We needed to show what real change could look like. So together with a whole lot of friends, we would blanket Manhattan with 100,000 copies of our very own newspaper. We'd call it the New York Times. Except our New York Times would be a little bit different. Ours would be set 6 months in the future. It would show what could happen if we set our imagination free.
Things have gotten pretty bad, and I think it's hard for people to imagine the world working another way. So we're trying to, as realistically as possible, present this world as it could be.
They just brought out the proof of the New York Times, and it looks unfucking believable.
Really good.
The obvious question, how the heck did you do it? Andy, you want to start? How long were you working on this thing, and how many of you?
Well, there were a lot of us. It wasn't just the Yes Men, it was a large group of people. We were just one of many groups. It was an idea that sparked a lot of people's imaginations. They wanted to see this happen. And that's sort of the message of the paper as well, is that, great, we elected Obama, and that's fantastic, but now the real work begins.
The idea was to put out something that was optimistic, that says, we can do all these things. Why not? We created the system that we have now, so why not create a good one instead?
Wow, very good. Here, let me tie you up. This is the big day. 7 a.m. rush hour. This is the time to get the papers out.